Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for August 7th of 2025 is titled The Double Cluster in Perseus. So, what do we see here? Well, this is a famous cluster in the constellation of Perseus known as H and Chi Persei. And it is two open clusters that are very close together and are actually probably part of the same star-forming region from long ago. Now, the clusters are now about 13 million years old, which in astronomical standards are two relatively young clusters. So, very young stars still present. They are very massive stars still present within these that have not yet evolved and gone through their lives. Now, how do we determine the age of a star cluster? Well, this is done by looking at the individual stars and kind of putting them all together. So we look and we see stars that have already evolved and are going through the end states of their lives, but we also see stars that are still in the main sequence phase of their life. Now, when we find the most massive stars that are still on the main sequence, we know how long those stars live. And when we find those ones that are just getting ready, just starting to evolve off, then that tells us how old the cluster is. So we can do that just by looking at and studying the individual stars. And that helps because these clusters like this are actually great laboratories for us to study stellar evolution. And in a way, they are a controlled experiment, because most of the things about the clusters are the same. The stars formed at around the same time from the same piece of material, same gas cloud in space. So those things really didn't change. The only thing that is different is how much mass each star formed with, and therefore we can study the effects of mass on the evolution of stars. Now, this is a beautiful sight in a pair of binoculars that you can see these two clusters very close together in the sky. If you happen to be at a really dark site, you can actually see them with the naked eye, so they can actually be visible. Now, open star clusters are always relatively young, and that's because there simply is not enough material there. There are not enough stars to gravitationally bind them together. So over time, the stars will disperse out into space, and if you came back in another couple 100 million years, these clusters would be dissipating. They would not be as prominent as they are today. The stars would slowly be spreading out, and in fact, our own sun was likely a part of a cluster like one of these at some point many billions of years ago. So that was our picture of the day for August 7th of 2025. It was titled The Double Cluster in Perseus. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture, previewed to be Dawn of the Crab. So we'll see what that is about tomorrow. And until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.